Guys, look at this, man. If this doesn't... Oh, Jesus. I'm really glad that my last video is on this whole dead silence topic and all the footsteps, and especially the footsteps inside of buildings. Oh my god, guys, my beta experience has kind of been dwindling a little bit. You know, game by game, match by match. My experience is unfortunately starting to get a little bit worse, but I need to remember that I want to make actual feedback videos right now. And yes, I might get ranty. Yes, I might curse. I might say some mean things. Might crack a few jokes, but the message is hopefully very, very, very clear for not only the developers, but other people in the community, you know, the people that actually see this from my perspective, and even for the people that disagree. If you're clicking on this video, it's probably because you're wondering what I have to say about the minimap, for example, in this video. This is another one of those things, just like Dead Silence and the Footsteps, where it's an easy change. Like, if the devs actually do this, a game like MW 2019 Part 2 actually has potential to be a really solid game. But to get into this, guys, I want the minimap back, the classic minimap, not this whole compass system or the MW 2019 map. There's just too many things wrong with having this style of a minimap. And not to mention that this game is being titled after Modern Warfare 2, which had nearly the exact opposite features that this game has. Now, I know this is a controversial topic, I don't know how we got here, but for the last like 15 years of COD, we've had a classic minimap for every single year minus 3 years, this being the third year. And even starting back in MW 2019, I just don't understand why we went this direction. But especially after the feedback from MW 2019 3 years ago, why did they decide to keep this feature? And look, I can give you guys the classic reasons, like I can just shoot them off very quickly right now, and I can further explain a few of them, but they're very simple. 1, it slows down the pace of the game too much. 2, it promotes camping. If you're not being seen on the minimap, you have every reason to stay put where you are and specifically not move. But one of the biggest reasons why I think we should have the classic minimap and not this minimap in particular is simply because it's too much to the benefit of a slow, ratty, campy type of playstyle, and there's no disrespect in that, okay? If that's the way you play, that is your choice. And in a game like MW 2019, you having that catered to you must have felt amazing. Having your claymores by the doors, camping with a 725, and literally not being detectable at all, I'm sure it was an amazing experience. But here, for a player like myself, somebody who's a little bit more competitive, I'm not gonna say, you know, I'm a pro player or that I'm an expert and I'm really good at the game, but as somebody who likes to move a little bit, somebody who likes to experience anything other than just sitting in one corner, something like this has been to my disadvantage a little bit too much. And before somebody gives me the whole, oh, you're just in the vocal minority, let me pull this tweet up by Doug Dimmadome Warzone himself. He says, do you guys want a classic minimap / red dots on the minimap in MW2? And 88% of people said yes, from a total of 29,424 votes. Now, I don't know where you see a minority here, especially on a page like Modern Warzone, and that's not necessarily a shot, but I'm willing to bet a majority of people that are following him are probably fans of Warzone, and by default, probably fans of Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2, and yet 88% of people from almost 30,000 votes want this in the game. Just thought that was some information I could share with you guys though. And let me remind you, I not only heard this at the COD Next event, I heard this from various multiple sources and content creators, especially the content creators that were at the closed beta a couple of weeks ago. Apparently, the devs of this game, InfinityWard and Joe Seacott, the overall goal for this game is for every type of player with any type of playstyle can feel like they're being catered to so that everybody feels involved in the experience. Now you tell me how this sounds. Okay? For a player who likes to rush, how many disadvantages do I have compared to how many disadvantages you may have as a slower player who particularly doesn't want a classic minimap? To your disadvantage, your red dots will appear on the map. Okay, well, there is a counter for that. That's a suppressor. Now, I know the main argument here is that a lot of people don't want to use a suppressor. They don't want to feel like they're forced to use a suppressor. In that case, don't. And to that, your response is probably along the lines of, oh, well, you can only get kills if you chase red dots on the minimap. You're not actually using your other senses and your other tools in the game. Okay, let me give you a quick rebuttal. If I can see your red dot on the map and you are camping, for example, how many obstacles do I need to get through to get to the point where I can kill a player like you? One, I probably need to get past a claymore, and the likelihood of that, you know, it depends. And one of the biggest things is you can very much clearly so hear me coming from absolutely anywhere. It doesn't matter if I sprint, doesn't matter if I run, doesn't matter if I walk, crouch walk, aim crouch walk, any type of movement I make trying to approach you, you can hear it. If you're in a building, you're absolutely gonna hear it. Now, what kind of advantage do I have in this situation? The only advantage I have with a classic minimap is that I can see your red dot in the last place that you shot for like a second. This whole weird argument that red dots on the map are for unskilled players simply makes no sense at all. And you literally hear this argument all the time, that we need to rely on a red dot to get our kills. When in most situations, if you're the player that's getting killed because of your red dot sitting in one location for multiple gunfights, perhaps some of your kills are only being given to you because you have multiple points of advantage that cater to you specifically. Let me put it this way, you don't want a classic minimap, you want the footstep audio to stay the way it is, you're okay with the time to kill, you're okay with the sprint to fire time. All of these things are advantages to you as somebody who is playing stationary, and all of these are the direct disadvantage for players that like to move on the map. Let me remind you, InfinityWard themselves said that they want this game to cater to everybody, not to one specific playstyle like MW 2019. They wanted this game to invite many more playstyles. And simply put, we are given too many disadvantages for this to make sense, for this to be an argument. If I have an answer to your argument as to why we don't need a classic minimap, then your reasoning is probably not that good to begin with. Here's a way to think of it. You and I walk into a goddamn McDonald's with $10 total between the two of us, and you take it upon yourself to order first, and you order a motherfucking Big Mac, you order yourself some goddamn fries, a fucking Diet Coke, a goddamn apple pie, some extra fucking condiments, a goddamn cookie, and you give the remaining change to me. What the fuck can I get? A goddamn straw. Where is it where you can take every feature of this game to be your advantage in your playstyle that is always going to be a direct disadvantage to the other playstyle? Again, keep in mind, InfinityWard, your favorite devs, are the ones who specifically said that they want this game to cater to everybody. If you want some compromises, here you go, I'll throw some to you. If you want to keep the minimap the way it is, why don't you give us a ninja perk so that we can actually flank these people with power positions that have every advantage in the world so that they don't hear us coming from a mile away. That's one way to do it. Maybe increase your time to kill so that each gunfight actually requires just a little bit more skill other than just having advantages by default. Or just let me pull my gun up a little faster and start shooting a little faster so that the second I see where you are, I can engage in a gunfight with you and actually have a chance of winning rather than just getting mowed down by somebody who is probably camping, probably on a head glitch, and who can probably hear me coming and just insta-killing me. You tell me where every playstyle is getting involved in a situation like that. Look, I hope this didn't come out too ranty. I hope you guys actually try to see this from my perspective. I just feel like there's a lot of disadvantages for my playstyle and too many advantages for the opposite playstyle. And for something like the minimap to come back would actually go a long way for players like myself. Again, MW 2019 Part 2 has the potential to be a very solid COD. All it takes is some effort and some listening skills from the devs. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. Do you think this game would be better with a classic minimap? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos, and yeah guys, it's been the Scadmaster. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out this shit.
It's been a very long time since the weekend. It's been a very long time and I'm weak. It's been a very long time since you seen me. know why.